we go to the Boss Firearms Hotline. That's where we find Jordan Pugh. Jordan, you coming to town this week?
No, I am not. Can't make it this week. Yeah, man, we gotta do some baby things going on this weekend, man. So all the family will be here. So I gotta make that the priority this week.
I get it, man. I get it. All right, you and I during games we go back and forth.
Yep.
Buddy, I don't like our exchanges recently. South Carolina, part of the LSU game, and obviously this past weekend at Auburn.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was disappointed after this past weekend's game. I thought that offensively, we did what we needed to do. I thought our offense played well, contrary to belief, man. I just think that we played well on offense. We had some sputters at the beginning, but we got things going. Defensively is what I was disappointed in. I thought that we gave up too many plays. We were out of position a lot. We didn't fix the issues with condensed formations. They were getting to the perimeter on us on the run game. Too many mental errors in the secondary, and it got us behind in that 21-0 hole. Right now, what I do love is, and this is where I think that our team is different. What I do love is how we constantly fight back. That's the one difference that I see, man. I think that's the one of the things that Elko was built into this team, man, is a way just to continue to fight through and take the lead in the game, man. That tells you a lot about the character of a team. And so, man, you're seeing it throughout the season. You can go back to the LSU game. You can look at what we did just throughout the other games, and now leading into Auburn, being able to fight back from deficits and have a chance to win. That's what you want. I thought this was just a stinker on defense, but offensively, we made the plays that we needed to play, that we needed to make. But defensively, man, we can't have those slow starts. We can't do that. We got to be better at tackling. We got to be better in positioning on defense, and we just got to make plays. I think that'll take care of itself this week, man. I'm looking forward to this weekend. It was disappointing, but man, everything that you want's in front of you. You're at home. It's a win in your in situation in the SEC. This is what you wanted at the end of the year, and this to be year one, to be playing for an SEC title berth, to be playing for a college football berth in year one with what we've done and we positioned ourselves. It's exciting. And I think, man, there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to play for.
Talking to Jordan Pugh here on TexAgs Live. All right, let's kind of take things in parts. Slow starts. Yep. That's been kind of a theme. They've had some slow starts. And this goes back a while. This is not just, the last two games. The LSU game was a slow start, and the ones before that, we won't necessarily go into it. When you've been on teams that had slow starts, how did you guys fix it?
You just got to execute better. At this point in time in the season, I've said this the past couple of times that I've been on, it's on the players at this point, as far as the execution standpoint. You got to be able to understand the urgency. You got to be able to understand what's at hand. Now, with that being said, I think part of the slow starts is the lack of aggression that we've shown in play calling, and whether it's from a defensive standpoint in creating pressures and creating long down and distances. We're looking at from the offensive standpoint, how we haven't opened up the playbook until it's been necessary, until we've been in a deficit, until we have created running plays for Marcel, until we've added more boots, waggles, those type of options in. Man, we haven't been aggressive from the jump. And I think, man, going into this game, understanding what's at stake, understanding what's in front of us, man, it's time to open up the playbook, unload the clip, per se, and let the offense flow. Because you have a dynamic quarterback. You know what we can do in the run game. Our run game continues to do its job. We got more explosive in the pass game this past weekend. Everything's in front of us. Now, I think the aggressive play calling and mindset from the coaching standpoint has to take place now. And I think that's the difference you'll see this week.
Talking to Jordan Pugh, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. What are you seeing from the defensive line? Because it isn't as easy as the sack numbers aren't there. Are you seeing them making mistakes? Is it all about the holding calls that aren't being called, holding that's not being called? What's up with the defensive line?
I'm seeing teams that have found what works against us. It started. Well, I can go back and I can say it started against LSU, but LSU didn't do it as prevalent. South Carolina really exposed it with condensed formations. The condensed formations, the tight splits by the slot receiver is really messing with us defensively, and it's allowing extra protection, max protection, chips protections, and it's not allowing our guys to get free rushes. And I think when you have the condensed formation, it allows for quick rhythm throws, 3-step drops that allows the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands, but it creates an extra level of of an offensive player that our defenders have to go through. And I think that's how players are scheming us. When you look at this game, I can already tell you what Sark is going to do. Sark is going to condense these formations. He's going to do a lot of motions. You're going to see a lot of orbit type motions that'll get us to try and violate our responsibility with our eyes, but also until we show that we can adjust to that, until we can show that we can stop the perimeter runs out of the pin and pull blocks that a lot of teams do, you're going to see a lot of that this weekend. Now, I think that we can make that adjustment. I know that Elko has everything to make it. I just think that defensively, we have to get more simplistic. And I think that we need to let our guys be guys. We need to let our pass rushers be pass rushers. And I think we can do that this week. We know the intensity. We know the anticipation. But I think that simple adjustment where sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's, hey, man, it's me versus you. Let me win my one-on-one battle. That's what we need to see this week. Those are the adjustments that we need to make this week going forward, especially on defense.
How concerned are you with the secondary?
That's a rising concern. I'm not in any type of DEFCON mode, but it's a rising concern because we've been inconsistent. I don't know why we've been inconsistent. Injuries can have a part in that, losing some guys. But I just think, man, we've just had a lot of mental errors, and it's been guys trying to do too much in the secondary. Man, one of the hardest things, at the safety position is when you play safety, you see everything. But when you see everything, you see nothing. And I see a lot of guys losing their man, losing their responsibility in zone concepts because they see too much in front of them. So a lot of the stuff that is going on defensively, we can fix that. We can really get that taken care of, but it comes to discipline. In the secondary, a lot of it has to do with your eyes. And I think if we can get the eye discipline corrected, man, we'll be fine in the back end.
Talking to Jordan Pugh here on TexAgs Live. So defensively overall, it feels like it's been going down. But Can the last few games on the road be who you really are? Or do you still look at the totality of 11 games leading up to this one?
I look at the totality of it. We've been a good defense. We haven't adjusted well to what offenses have done to us. I will go back to the condensed formations. The way that you stifle the pass rush is you condense the formation to create extra protection. All right, an extra layer of offensive players that you have to go through in order to get to the quarterback. That has stifled us. What also that has allowed is that's allowed a lot more perimeter runs through pin and pull. And we just haven't made the adjustment. The frustrating part for me being a defender, a former defensive player, is those are easy adjustments to make. And I don't know why we're not adding an outside contained player. We're not attacking the initial point player in any type of condensed formation, the man on the line of scrimmage. I don't know why we're not bringing any perimeter pressure from corners, from safeties. Those things are easy adjustments that you can make, right? Now, with that being said, I think, we can make those adjustments. We have the personnel in order to do what we need to do from that standpoint. But for whatever reason, I don't know what they're seeing on film. I don't know what our personnel is like within those meeting rooms. I don't know what we're missing on that standpoint. But by the time that we do make those adjustments late in game, you've already given a team like Auburn hope. They've already gassed you on a few plays, and now we're playing catch up. I think we have to come out. We have to be able to align properly. If we get that proper alignment down, that nullifies a lot of the plays that Texas will run in the game. And I think you'll see the defense start to thrive because we'll put them in predictable down and distance situations, which will allow the pass rush to do what they need to do.
What do you think about Marcel recently? I mean, obviously he's got some mistakes, but I think he's growing as a passer.
I love what he's doing. You see the maturation process take place, man. You have your mistakes. I hear all the time on the broadcast talking about he's a freshman quarterback, 6 games starting. At this point, he's not a freshman anymore. He's seasoned. And I think, man, just through experience, going through those hostile road environments, him being to come in against LSU and be a spark, all those things matter in the build-up to this position now that we're in. And then what Marcel gives you is he gives you a third option when plays break down. And that third option is his legs. And those things are dangerous. That's a lot of what got us back in the game against Auburn. Man, Auburn, we fought back because we were able to hit explosive pass plays. We were able to continue to push our dominance in the run game. But having that third option, it creates an extra person that has to account for him. And man, that's something that we're going to have to take advantage of because I don't think Texas will be able to take advantage of us offensively when you add that third element in.
Talking to Jordan Pugh at TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. You know, Noah Thomas has had a nice season. I feel like there's been stretches where he's hasn't gotten the ball a lot, and that might be, I don't know, it might be him, it might be the connection with the quarterback. But when he's had big games, they've been big games, like especially this last one.
Yeah, I just think, man, that comes with, I think that Clinton has been trying to figure out what this personnel group is. Think about it, man. He's had two quarterbacks that have been in throughout the season. He's had two quarterbacks that have two completely different skill sets. So he's had to mold this offense on the run this year and be able to fit what he has per quarterback. So now when you look at what we've done in the past, we go back to the Auburn game, almost 300 yards passing for Marcel. Man, you saw a lot more one-on-one opportunities with our receivers, right? When you look at Jade and how he was making crucial catches within the game, you look at the explosive plays we had with Noah. A lot of that comes because there's a mobile factor with the quarterback. It creates one-on-one opportunities, and more people have to line in the box to account for that extra run threat. Now that you have that, that's opened up the pass game more. You saw that get started with the New Mexico State game, roll into the Auburn game, and now you're creating more problems for the defense to account for in the game planning phase coming up to this week. So, man, I think a lot of that has to do with understanding Marcel's skill set, understanding his run threat, and that allows the passing game to get open.
Talking to Jordan Pugh. Jordan, what about the offensive line? Obviously, getting Chase Basantis back, if he's a full go, it'll go a long way. What did you see this past weekend? Because I know there were some issues in South Carolina. What did you see this weekend?
I saw an offensive line that got better. The more and more I've gotten thinking about it, the more and more I think that our offensive line group has been underrated in the coaching job that's taken place. We got back into that game really because of the run game that we had, the run threat that we had, how we had drives downfield that we just didn't capitalize on. From the first drive, I think it was 10 plays. Second drive was a 10-play drive, predicated a lot off the run game, which opened up the pass game from the second quarter on. And I don't think that we're getting enough love for what we're doing in the run game with our blocking, how we're creating holes, how it's opening up play action type plays, zone read, RPO type plays. Our offensive line is getting the job done. And I think with a lot of the guys coming back, being able to create the cohesiveness, understanding the energy, the adrenaline, the anticipation of this game, I think you're going to see us manhandle Texas. I don't think when it comes to a matchup standpoint that Texas has dealt with a run game like ours, right? The closest thing they had was Georgia, and they got run through. With our offensive line, that's been one of the strengths that we've had, one of the underlying strengths that we've had within the offense. And being able to take that run game, add the element of Marcel, man, it's going to be a problem for Texas. I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Jordan, this game here with Quinn Ewers, what does he do well, and where can A&M really not affect this game? Because I think the pass rush, if they get through that offensive line, but like where can A&M really make life hard for him?
Pressure through the middle. One thing that Quinn does well is he's really good in intermediate pass game. That's where he makes his hay. I think that Quinn, from an overall standpoint, is not one of the best quarterbacks that we played. I think that he's very stationary. I don't think he brings a lot of imagination to the offense. Now, one of the things that Quinn does very well is he manages the game very well. And he's able to find spots within defenses, spots within zones that he can hit and take advantage of. I think that if we can create pressure through the middle, one of the things that you saw against Georgia, one of the things that Kentucky did, Kentucky started bringing pressure through A gaps, through B gaps, and Quinn struggles with that. He struggles with things right down the middle, right down his face. So, man, being able to open up those opportunities, I think you can take advantage of that. He doesn't have the mobile aspect. And so, man, being able to have a sitting duck within the pocket, you take away the initial throw lanes from him, we can have a field day in the pass rush, sack game, QB pressure game, and create a lot of chaos within that offense.
Where else do you think Texas might be vulnerable?
I think Texas is vulnerable on the defensive side. I don't think Texas is a very physical football team. I think that we are more physical. I think that we have the advantage on the offensive line. I think we match each other well in the skill position game, from our offensive skill set to their offensive skill set and our defensive skill set. We match. I think where we have the advantage is in the front. The one thing that I have yet to see from Texas, and I told you I'm not a big believer in Texas, I've yet to see them be physical. Every time that Texas has been punched in the mouth, man, they struggle. Kentucky showed a lot of vulnerabilities against Texas when it comes to physical run game play. They were able to open up a lot of pass lanes with Kentucky's offense because of the run game that was created within that. they're not a very physical football team. Georgia exposed a lot of who they are internally as a group. And I think that they're running up on another team who's going to punch them in the mouth. So with that being said, if we can get the run game going, that run game can open up the passing opportunities. You add the running element of Marcel, I think we can run right down their throat. Defensively, I think, man, being able to stifle their run, I think they're vulnerable in their run game. They're not very potent when it comes to running the football. Being able to take that away and make them predictable, that's in our favor as well. The physicality of this game is going to be key. The physicality is our advantage.
Talking to Jordan Pugh. Jordan, Texas gives up 12.1 points per game, which is in the top 3. I think it's number 1 in the SEC, but top 3 in the country.
Yeah.
How much does that number stick out to you? And maybe you have some thoughts on why that number is so low.
That number means absolutely nothing to me. When you look at the teams that they've played, they haven't played really explosive offenses. Outside of Georgia, Georgia got explosive on them. But when you look at the bread and butter of the SEC, the Ole Misses of the world, you can even throw Alabama in there, even though they're inconsistent. They haven't played a lot of explosive offense. Our offense is explosive. Our offense stays in games. Our offense creates big plays. So being able to do that is big. But when I look at that number is misleading, especially going against the level of competition. A lot of the teams that they played have been in quarterback carousels. They haven't had any type of consistency whatsoever within their offensive game plan and plays and personnel. And I think that we can really exploit that. I just think, man, I just truly believe that Texas is coming into a buzzsaw here. And I think that this is a prime matchup and a prime opportunity for us at A&M to expose what they don't do well. I just think it's prime, it's ready. I think it's ready for the world to see, the nation to see. We have the more physical football team, and that is the number one weakness of the University of Texas. And I think we exploit that this weekend.
What is the key? All right, if you had to boil it down, what's the key in this one?
The key is our offensive line play against their defensive line play. Texas wants to be able to get upfield and rush the passer. So in order to rush the passer, they have to be able to get you into long down and distances in the first 2 downs, or excuse me, the second 2 downs, second and third down. If they can do that, then they can do what they really want to on defense. Now, with the pieces that we have coming back on offense, I think that we can exploit them heavily in the run game. Our run game is the most underrated thing that we have. And we have a 3-headed monster when you add that run element of Marcel. So I think if we can get into shorter, manageable distances on first down, we open up the playbook. We allow more options with RPOs, boots, waggles, play actions. And, man, I think we could really take advantage of them up front, and we can run away with this game.
Jordan, atmosphere. I know that's been the dumb question that people bring up, but I think it's relevant now as we close out this interview. What's it going to be like on Saturday?
It's going to be crazy. It is going to be stupid. I wish I was there, man. Here's what I think a lot of people that haven't actually played in the game don't understand, man. The energy, the electricity, all the undescribable factors that you can try and use to describe this. You can't put it into words. Man, and now that it's taking a hiatus and you're bringing it back, the intensity level of this game is going to be unmatched. And the energy in that stadium, the players are going to thrive off of that. I really just think, man, it's setting up for a perfect scenario. When you have everything in front of you as a player, this is what you dreamed of. It reminds me when I was with the Redskins at the time in 2012. RG3's rookie year. We started off 3-7. We had to win our last 7 games to get into the playoff, and it came down to us versus the Cowboys. We win and we're in. Same situation. The electricity. Knowing that as a player is on you now. The coach has done his job. He's put us in position. Now we have to execute that. The electricity is going to be phenomenal, man. I can't wait to see that this weekend, man, and see how we counter that.
Jordan, I'm going to read one chat from YouTube from a Randy okay. Who's a Texas fan, but he's very kind. He's not a mean one.
Okay.
He goes, and I just want you to respond to it. You give me your thoughts after. Pugh definitely has his maroon-colored glasses on. That D is legit. Speaking of the defense of Texas, of course. So I'll let you take that thought and take it from there.
Well, everybody looks legit when you're going against JV talent. That's the first thing I would say. And then when you talk about maroon colored glasses on, man, well, it's a lot of orange colored glasses going on. Understanding, man, that matchups make everything. but also not understanding what we possess, right? And I think that it's going to be a rude awakening for a lot of the Texas fans when they see what A&M is really about this year. I am high on us because I'm high on Mike Elko. What I've seen from this team, the ups and downs, the adverse situations we've had from day one, the quarterback situations that we played through, the way that we fought back from big deficits in games, I think that Texas is walking into a buzzsaw. And I don't think they really understand what they're heading into. I'm excited to see us dominate this game. I'm excited to see us win this game. I believe we win by 2 scores. I think it's that big of a deficit. I'm not impressed with Texas. I think they're good. I think Sark makes them better because he is a hell of a play caller. But they're running into us. They're running into our D line, our skill set, but they're running into a Mike Elko culture team. And I think that's the difference.
All right, Jordan, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next week. Man. All right, man?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Gig 'em.